Hey everyone, Dale here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the 2021 Audi R8. For those of you that are new here, I work as an automotive consultant here in the UK, but I help manufacturers around the world and I help them decide what sort of specification they should put into their vehicles. This is an exercise I would do with a manufacturer, albeit it would be in a slightly different format, but I've changed it here for a YouTube format. And basically what we're going to do is go through the base specifications and work our way up through the specification. And what we're going to say is if Audi charge you £13,000, which in this case they do, to jump up between the various specifications, is it actually worth £13,000 to jump up or not? So that's what we're going to look at today. I'm going to record my screen as usual so you can see what I'm doing, a little bit of picture in picture. And we'll describe what we're going to look at today. There's going to be arrows around here and various descriptions and numbers, and I'll explain everything as we go along. I'll try and keep this video as short as I humanly can, but let's get started and describe what we're looking at here and whether it's going to be worth jumping into an Audi R8 and up through the various trim levels to the various specifications. So, number one is we've got an Audi R8 V10 rear-wheel drive model. That is the base version of an Audi R8 that you can buy. It costs £17,325, and obviously I start all these videos by saying if you want to jump into an Audi R8 or an Audi A1, you have to make that distinction yourself on whether you even want to jump into that brand, into that specific model or not. But the first thing that has to be said is the Audi marketing department or product department maybe need to tweak a few things in terms of how they describe their particular vehicles. So what we have here is obviously the R8 V10 rear-wheel drive. There's no mention of the PS, which I've written there on the right hand side there, so it's 540 PS. There's also no description dictating what the litre size is of the engine. It's a 5.2 litre V10, so they've described it as an R8 V10 rear-wheel drive, but they don't tell you what the actual performance of that vehicle is. They don't tell you the 0 to 60 time, they don't tell you the top speed. Now the other thing is that Audi obviously have itemised a few little pieces of specification here, and they deem this important enough to tell you so that you can look at the price and say actually it is worth that amount of money for me to click through to that model and potentially order an Audi R8. So if they deem it important enough to show on their website, it's pretty important, I think, that I just look at the specific specification that's written down here. Obviously, we'll have specification outside of that myself, and you understand that that would be the case. But in this case, I'm going to look just at what they show on screen, and we'll decide whether it's worth it or not. So I'm not going to value the Audi R8 V10 rear-wheel drive, but we'll run through the specification anyway. You get 19-inch 5-spoke design cast aluminium wheels in gloss black, R8 sports seats in Alcantara and leather upholstery, side blade in body colour, exterior style package in high gloss black, and the reversing camera. So that's the base specification you get in an R8, obviously with the engine and performance that you get of an R8 anyway. We jump down, and obviously I've written down there the word Quattro. So why I've done that is this model description is just described as R8 Coupe. Which seems a little bit odd because this does actually get the Quattro 4-wheel drive system, because if I scroll down a little bit more, we'll look at this model in a second, the model below that is called the V10 Performance Quattro. It doesn't say the word R8 or Coupe or anything like that, it says V10 Performance Quattro, so they made a very distinct, calculated decision there to say actually this, you already know it's an R8 Coupe, now it's the V10 Performance Quattro. Bit of a mistake in terms of how I think it's marketed. I still think you should have the Quattro name within the R8 Coupe model so people can understand. Also, there's a difference between the two models, between the base model and this R8 Coupe Quattro model, of 30 brake horsepower. So it goes from 540 PS to 570 PS. But let's get into the specification. So what we're saying effectively, is that on the left hand side there you've got £13,805, and that's me saying that, or Audi in fact saying that if you want to jump up from the R8 rear-wheel drive model into the R8 Coupe Quattro model, you have to spend £13,805. Now as you can see next to the itemised list here, I have the specification and the number I would assign if I was going to value this vehicle for Audi, for what I would put with this particular specification. So let's start at the top there. We've got 19-inch 5-arm twin spoke design forged aluminium wheels in matte titanium diamond cut finish. And you can see I've got a 0 next to that. So that is worth absolutely no money. Now, whether you agree with me or disagree with me is entirely your decision, but from a valuation perspective, if alloy wheels are available on every single specification of the vehicle, and it doesn't matter the size, the shape, the design, whatever they happen to be, every vehicle gets aluminium or alloy wheels. So there is no inherent value in jumping up between the sizes, because you can change the alloy wheels to suit your certain personality or the spec that you're after. So we don't add value on for alloy wheels. It doesn't matter whether they're 22 inches, 19 inches, made of titanium, it doesn't matter, because they all need to come with something that makes the vehicle physically move. So that gets a 0. Audi phone box with wireless charging. Excuse me. I've added £250 on for that. Again, nice convenience option there to have wireless charging, and the phone box, I believe, is literally where you put your phone. But Audi, if you want to contact me and let me know exactly what that means, then I'm happy to be corrected. Side blade in Mythos black in metallic, so that's this bit here that I'll just highlight with my pen. I've added £500 there for that, and we're looking at this as if this vehicle's 3 years old and you're potentially looking to get this vehicle on a lease or a PCP, a second hand. We're not looking at this brand new, because if it's brand new you're obviously going to pay £13,805 for it. But in 3 years time, what is this spec and performance actually worth? So I think the side blade in Mythos black metallic is worth £500. Changes the profile of the car slightly in terms of the visual exterior aesthetics. So that's what value I've assigned there. R8 sport seats in fine Napa leather. As you can see at the very top of the screen there, you've got R8 sport seats in Alcantara and leather upholstery. Now, I've added a little bit of value here. I've added £750 for the fine Napa leather bit, but this applies to all vehicles. So it doesn't matter if this was an Audi A1, a BMW 1 Series, an Audi R8 in this case. Fine Napa leather can be applied to any vehicle that you want, technically within the lineup. Just because this is in an R8, it doesn't mean anything to us in terms of evaluation. Obviously it's cut differently, but it is still fine Napa leather. It comes from a specific manufacturer who create those types of leathers. So we don't add any additional value just because it's in an Audi R8. It wouldn't matter if it was in a £1 million car, it's still fine Napa leather. So that's the value that we would assign to it. And then the Quattro all-wheel drive system, I've actually put a question mark down there because I feel it's not really my call to say whether Quattro 4-wheel drive is worth anything or not personally to you, because that's something that you would need to decide yourself, whether you'd want the rear-wheel drive model or the Quattro model, whether you'd want to pay £5,000 to get a Quattro version or £2,000, or whether you think it's worth £13,000 to have that safety system and to the added performance benefit of having 4-wheel drives for, you know, launches and whatever. So I put a question mark down there because I don't feel like I'm in an appropriate position to be able to value that unless I actually physically tested the vehicle, which is what they would do. They would generally send things like this to our houses, also the office. We would test the systems and then we would feed that information back to them and say, actually, we think it's worth this much just for the 4-wheel drive system. So yeah, question mark for that. So effectively what you've got to say is, we've got a total there of £1,500 just for the specification. Is the 30 brake horsepower bump in performance and a Quattro all-wheel drive system worth the difference between 13,800 and 1,500? So that's like £12,000. Is it worth you spending £12,000 to get an extra 30 brake horsepower and a Quattro system? That's what we're asking here, and that's entirely your decision. But based on the specification here and what I can see physically, I think the specification alone is worth 1,500. You'd need to make the distinction yourself whether you think the performance and the drivetrain is worth the extra. So that's the Quattro version. We jump down to the V10 Performance Quattro I described before. Again, another jump in brake horsepower and Newton meters in terms of the torque. And the jump in price is 13,000, so it's an additional 13,000 on top of the already quite expensive Quattro model. So what we've got here is a 20-inch 5-spoke Evo design cast Aluminium wheels in matte titanium diamond cut finish. Again, doesn't get anything from us in terms of evaluation. Exterior styling in matte titanium grey, including side blades and exterior mirrors. So I'll just highlight a few things here. So we've got a side blade there, a little bit up there. We've also got a spoiler that they don't actually talk about. We've got these bits down here, the sides down here, and then there'll be various trinkets around the rear of the car that will be in matte titanium grey. I've added £1,000 on for that. I think it changes the profile of the vehicle and how it looks quite significantly compared to the model just below the model lineup. Ceramic brakes with silver brake calipers. I put £2,000 down for the ceramic brakes. Now obviously again it's the same argument with the Quattro system. If you feel you'll get benefit from ceramic carbon brakes and you want to spend the extra money to jump into them, you might spend, or you might think it's worth an extra £5,000 to jump to ceramic brakes because that's what your lifestyle is like. You might take it on a track day and you might want to not have to pay for brakes every time you go out for a track day. So I put £2,000 down. Again, if you want to pay $5,000, you want to pay $1,000, you want to pay $10,000, it's entirely up to you, but from my seat here I'd only put £2,000 down. And again, this is 3 years time. An R8 3-spoke flat bottom multifunction perforated performance leather steering wheel with 3 operating satellites. I have absolutely no idea what 3 operating satellites means, so if somebody can jump into the comments and let me know, or Audi, if you want to get in touch with me, please let me know, because I have absolutely no idea what that means. But obviously if I was valuing this outside of YouTube, I'd obviously speak with Audi directly and ask them what that meant. But I put £500 down for a flat bottom 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel. It's slightly different from the standard wheel. It's got a little race flag down there, so I think you can change the modes. It's quite a nice convenience option there for you. And the R8 bucket seats in fine Nappa leather. Again, we've already taken into account the fine Nappa leather in the model above, so that doesn't get any additional value, same as the alloys work. But the bucket seats bit is the bit that's the most important now. So I've added £1,000 per seat effectively, so £2,000 total. And that means that this vehicle, in terms of the specification alone, is worth £5,500 in my opinion. Again, you'd need to make the distinction whether you wanted to spend the difference between 13,000 and 5,500 for the jump-in brake horsepower from the 570 to the 620 PS. Then we're going to jump down to the final model in the Audi R8 lineup, which is the V10 Performance Carbon Black Edition. Again, it's the same PS, it's 620, the same as the R8 V10 Performance version. And you have to spend another additional £12,900, so £13,000, to jump up into this model. Alloy wheels, 20-inch 5 twin-spoke dynamic design, aluminium wheels in gloss anthracite black, although that is spelled aluminum, not aluminium, on their website at least. Diamond cut finish, again, same reasons before, doesn't get any additional value because the vehicles below it get alloy wheels anyway. Extended black styling pack, including Audi emblem and badges in black high gloss. So you can see I've underlined there extended, because if I scroll up you can see where it says £1,000, it says exterior styling in matte titanium grey, including side blades and exterior mirrors. And on this Performance Carbon Black version, it says extended black styling pack. So that's to do with the badges. So the way this would work out in terms of a value is we've already taken into account the exterior styling pack on the previous model, that was £1,000. And then on the extended version, I've added an additional £250. So you have to really think of this as £1,250 worth of additional spec. It's not just £250 as it's written here, it's £1,250 because you layer the pricing. So that's what I put on there. Again, if you think it's worth more or less, it's entirely your opinion, but I think £250. Audi magnetic ride with CFRP, carbon fibre reinforced plastic, anti-roll bar with red anodised arms. I put £750 down for this. I've also got a little note there that you can see I put should be on performance model. So I think this particular piece of standard equipment should be on the model that came before it, just the performance. If you're spending this much money, £150,000, £160,000, I want, you know, the latest and greatest in ride comfort, and you know, these performance models are designed for track day use, mostly I imagine, and daily use to an extent, but mostly I think track use. So I don't know why they wouldn't isolate the Audi magnetic ride just on the carbon black version. So I put £750 down for that, but I do think that it should be on the model below this. Extended styling elements in gloss carbon, including the side blades and exterior mirrors. Quite a significant value for this, £2,500. And this is these parts again, spoilers down here on the front splitter, side blades and the side mirrors. So £2,500. It's expensive to manufacture, it's expensive to put on the car, it's expensive if it needs to be repaired. It's just a generally expensive composite material, so I put additional value on there, and it does change the profile of the car in terms of how it looks, especially close up. So I put £2,500 down. Ceramic brakes with red brake calipers. 0 I put down there because the model previous to that gets ceramic brakes with silver brake calipers, so I'm not going to add any additional value just because they're red, you know, or silver. They're still ceramic brakes. And then we've got a carbon engine bay cover of £1,000 I put on for the carbon engine bay cover, giving a total of £4,500 in total. So yeah, same performance, but you have to spend £13,000. So for my money, I mean, I think they're all pretty expensive vehicles, but I'd probably go for the biggest brake horsepower I could possibly get, with the most amount of newton meters of torque, with the exterior styling in matte titanium, the flat-bottomed multifunction steering wheel in perforated performance leather. I would get that, but I'd try and option it in Alcantara because I prefer Alcantara as a material. And the R8 bucket seats in fine Napa leather. Again, I'd try and get Napa leather and Alcantara. Personally, that's what I would personally spec out for this vehicle. But in terms of what they offer today, that is what they are offering as standard equipment. So I hope you found that reasonably interesting. This is what I do for a living. I help manufacturers decide what sort of specification they should put into their vehicles so that they can get the maximum value. They don't want to put things into their vehicles that are not worth any money to themselves or to the customer. So they'll speak with people like me, and it will be a bit more of an in-depth exercise than just a 20-minute YouTube video. And we try to understand the product, and we'd obviously test drive the product to see what it was like. If you like the video, obviously give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you want to jump into the comments and have a little chat about what we do here, please jump in, and I'll jump in and join you and we can have a chat. But thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.